Good afternoon, Speed Gaming, and welcome to Game 4 of the Open League Finals. We've got an Ambrosia matchup between Bottles on Empty and JKLOL. Ninjembro looking to end the Open season with a win, whereas Kazan is looking to extend the series to Game 5. My name is Radical Sniper 99, and today I'm joined by my NDM. How's it going?
Hey there, I am doing well. Everybody, I hope you are locked in and ready with all of your drinks and snacks and whatever it is that you want to watch your rando with, because I think we've got a great one on tap for you today. We have Ambrosia, got a couple of really good runners whose teams have already secured their spots in Invitational next year, so this one is really for the pride of saying, we won the league this year.
Exactly. So at this point, it is a 2-1 series. These two runners actually met up in Game 3 for what was it? Hard MC Shuffle, I believe. And then the second game was between myself and Maximum Barnage in Cross Keys. And then the third game played was between Leoria and Maniacal. And Ninjembro pulling the Lynx House chest and leaving immediately.
Likely going to go see if some bombs can be acquired in Skullwoods, while Kasten is going to use this tree statue pole here, hoping for some goodies, and tier 1 tree pole, 20 rupees. Not terrible.
That is an awesome goodie at this point. Easy way to get some quick rupees off of either the archery game, but even still, you have enough for digging game as well. So little, these are the little tricks of the trade of inverted. Ninjembro realizing where a lot of bombs are in Skullwoods. Kazan saying, I prefer that tier 1 pull. So we'll see how it pays out for both of them.
Yeah, early mild differences in inverted. Both of them are pretty standard book plays. It'll just be a question of which one happens to work out for the runner today.
Yeah, we'll see if Kazan decides to grind out some extra rupees here, and he is going to hit archery game real quick, so he'll have plenty of money for this start. And really, if you're looking to get into inverted, this is a really helpful skill, as well as if you're playing entrance mode, honestly, or retro. Dig game ability, or not dig game, archery game is really helpful.
Yeah, you just wait for the target to pass that second curtain there, hit the fire button, and for the first 3-ish rounds it works. After that, it desynchronizes a little bit between the blockers and the targets. And so if you really want a lot of money, you'd probably be better served to step out and back in to reset that.
Agreed. But Kazan does finish up with the archer game, played it twice, and first dig is the 20, so not great.
Just take a little cash money here, a little cash money there, while Ninjembro is pulling the Quake medallion out of the pot prison there in the front of Skullwoods.
Now, we did see Bumper Ledge on Ninjembro's side, finding out that it was our blue mail, so we probably will not be getting red mail today. We'll see if we can find the other mail, but we're definitely not going to Bumper Ledge.
Seems like an unlikely kind of check. Kasten's about to see it as well, while Ninjembro is still fishing for the second item here in Skullwoods, and finds it in that piece of heart.
Yeah, so for those of you who have not seen too much of the league this season and aren't aware of Ambrosia, it's an inverted start, clearly. Big keys are shuffled into the world, and the bosses have an item. Everything else is pretty much what you would expect, and Ninjembro is going with the common way to grind out some early bombs, dropping into this hole here, as well as Kazan. In here, you can easily just pick up those two pots for some bombs. The other thing you can do is actually go for some of the pots. I'm surprised neither runner decided to pick up a few pots and get the little magics. Oh, and yes, the GT big key is in GT. That is our one non-shuffled big key.
One of those things that it can be sometimes difficult to remember, but you would expect runners playing Game 4 of the finals of League to have maybe played this mode once or twice in preparation. They're probably not going to forget that one for us today.
Yeah, so this was Ninjembro's pick of the game. JKLOL was listed as the high seed after some crazy tiebreaker shenanigans. That was the flipper, so that gives us East Arc World as well. But so Ninjembro picked this mode, but Kazan actually picked this one a few times during the playoffs up to this point. So both runners definitely well versed in this mode. Oh no. So the one always kind of scary thing about inverted is when you start getting access to other parts of the game. Very standard play you start thinking about is you get a glove and a lamp early, and that opens up Aga. But in this one, we've gotten flippers and bombos.
That sounds suspiciously like Ice Palace to me.
It is sounding like Ice Palace.
There's Kayston pulling that Quake second item, and he knows it. There will be a third item due to the big key shuffle, but part of the Ambrosia portion is the Ambrosia part, meaning items on bosses, so having found 2 of the 3 items in Skullwoods, knows exactly where the last one's at.
Yeah, Kayston getting to skip a little bit of the checks that Ninjembro fully went through. Just minor routing difference of Skullwoods kind of leading to that. Ninjembro going to give us chest game. He did get a lot of money there. And there's the big key to Thieves Town already.
That's a place you can find that. Now, how quickly do you want to dive back in when you still haven't found the hammer?
Yeah, knowing there's 5 items there now, it almost feels more likely that you need that hammer for something. And we'll see how Kazan plays this, because he did not go into Thieves Town before doing chest game. So for him, this might be even more tempting. But Ninjembro does head back into Thieves.
And also, Kayston has pulled the Southern Dark World checks already, so it's not as though there's any real compulsion for him to drop down and go to something like Dig Game.
Yeah, the only thing Kazan has left on that south side is, of course, Hype Cave, so 5 items there could be nice. And Kazan also showing us some of those extra spots for 50/50s. We know, of course, that one bush right below the brewery, but there are at least a couple other spots. And yeah, as our tracker Leori is pointing out, we do already have the Thieves Town big or small key. So while this is in logic, we did find the compass as well. So there is a growing chance that there is an item in the big chest right now.
Hardly a specific to inverted kind of problem. I feel that the Thieves Town Big Chest can be one of those outlying checks that is a little difficult to get back to when you don't have the hammer the first time around.
Yeah, and we do know it's a 5/6 crystal here, so there are some extra added benefits to clearing this one out. Ninjembro going through the attic here, being extra careful. If any of those crickets touch him, he is dead at this point.
And it looks like those pests are in Magic Pool.
Yeah, and it looks like Kazan's also going to make the play to the back here. So yeah, we're really just hoping not to see the map at this point.
That would be the bailout for our runners, but of course the alternative is we're supposed to have just gotten our hammer out of Hype Cave. Or even worse, out of ice.
Yeah, watch us get that early hammer and glove, and you're trying for a 3-heart ice.
Ninjimbro showing us the alternate strat to get out of this room. When you have no gloves at all, you can open the door on the left-hand side by killing all of the enemies.
Yeah, a lot of us tend to forget it, myself included. Why do I not have a glove? I'm in Thieves Town. And yeah, Ninjambro continued to have to play this really safe. Only at 3 hearts, you really don't have a lot of options.
And still just finding a little more money, so we do have this 50-50 shot. It's going to be the question of whether or not Blind is holding the last item or that dungeon item that we're looking for.
Well, we know that Blind has the item.
Oh, right, we do.
Yeah. So we are
See how
safe on
easy
a
that
Thieves
is to
Town clear.
forget?
Yeah. No, this is it's one of those little things you don't do a lot of, and you know, we're gonna see this soon as well with the upcoming season of Ladder, I believe, where Ambrosia comes back. So should be interesting.
But once you've played enough of it, it probably becomes a little easier to remember. But that Piers Caston trying to do the same thing Ninjimbro did and lift that block, not going to work without a glove.
Meanwhile, Ninjambro working on Blind here. Very nice script through the first 2 phases. A little off here. Gonna have to... Oop.
Definitely had just enough iframes to get
Oh.
through there.
Really tight finish there. But nicely done for our 4th heart container. And it was the Sank heart.
Imagine bosses dropping heart containers. It's we've gone all the way back to NMG, right? No, not so much.
Nice 8-bomb drop there on one of our Zyzacs as well.
Those, along with the Stalkos and the Baris, are going to be in our high value pool today, which can be really handy when you're climbing Ganon's tower at the end of the game.
Kasten?
Still not gonna work.
Yep, can't do it from the bottom either.
So here in a few seconds, we'll see if Kasten can stay a little more on script than Ninjimbro did. Ninjimbro going to get a couple of these southern checks and be heading in more or less the right direction for the Pipe Cave check that both of our runners are pretty much going to get locked into here.
Yeah, Flippers only really gives us the option of do you go into Palace of Darkness, do you check the Pyramid, or do you head into Ice? And I almost feel like the seed is screaming Ice Palace with that Bombos medallion this early. But even that's not great. I mean, what options do we have within these dungeons? And just about perfect script there from Kazan to take down Blind. So nice kill. Both runners now at a crystal apiece. Ninjambro just a little bit ahead in terms of checks, going to be able to head over to Hype Cave now. Kazan will probably save and quit and make the same checks right after that.
So let's see what we could have gotten if we had actually had bombs early. 20, the lamp, there's our moon pearl, question mark. And then not much else.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to find a glove soon. And then, you know, do you want to gamble Aga for Light World? So it looks like we're going to get to our first major point of kind of route divergence possibility here. You're going to have to jump in the water here. So the question is, are we going to see ice or pod here from Ninjambro? And it looks like we're going to get the ice play.
Yeah, this does indeed look like the ice play. You can see it looks a little different in inverted, where you can just walk right on in rather than having to do shenanigans and lift rocks and so on and so forth. Nope, you just need the flippers and you can walk right on in and say hello.
Yeah, chat mentioning, you know, Aga in this mode is less of a gamble than it would be normally. I think the hard part here is we just have a lot more options than I think we typically do for an inverted seed. Like, I feel like the Aga scream is almost super loud in this mode always. This one, you know, you've got this choice between pod and ice, and it looks like Kazan's going to give us pod.
Yep, definite divergence here, right off the bat. jump into the water, and then we have two very different ideas of where our runners want to go.
Yeah, the interesting play here is like Kazden could be saying, I don't care if this is bow locked pod, I'm gonna do a mimic clip anyway, I'm gonna clear everything I can.
The big key shuffle can make it a little interesting, but there's nothing really preventing the big key from just being in the dungeon.
And we'll see if Ninjembro decides. I don't think we're gonna get a hammer jump here, or not a hammer jump, an Ice Palace bomb jump. The other one.
Yeah, when you're missing the cane, you're missing the hook shot, you're missing the hammer is really the big thing. So you're unlikely to be clearing the dungeon anyway.
Yeah,
Seems
you're
pretty
not
reasonable
getting.
to not spend the extra time on the Ice Palace bomb jump.
We're definitely not getting all the tools to beat ice in ice right now.
As entertaining as that might be. Who's up for Fighter Sword Cold Stare?
And this is kind of the gross thing about inverted at times. You can really get some bad placements. Luckily, we do already have a Moon Pearl, so one of the worst things is definitely off the table. And we're just continually getting that bomb boost use. We'll see how Ninjembro handles this now. We didn't get to talk about it earlier, but we got TR Skullwoods and Swamp Palace's green for our pendants.
So it'll be a full Crystal Light world, which, well, in inverted, that is its own thing. Particularly Desert Palace, we're going to have to find a book today.
Backing in to those stairs.
I don't know that I had seen that strategy before.
We do get arrows in our first chest of Palace of Darkness, so that is definitely not... This is bow-locked pod, and I don't think Kazden cares at this point. He's going to fully go after this. So
and we have
unless...
a glove in the Freezor room on Ninjembro's side.
So there's Aga and Dark World now. Or Light World. The world that we're not in.
It's at least some portal access, one way or the other.
No, I'm gonna guess this is a light or a Death Mountain play from Ninjembro. I don't think we're gonna see Catfish. Yeah, dark DDM now for Ninjembro, so makes perfect sense.
And Kazden just going to casually roll out this RTA Mimic clip.
Very nicely done. Definitely saves time. I personally am a pause buffer on this one still, but you know, if you got it, looks really cool doing that.
Yep, my hand's definitely not 1991 spec anymore. The RTA Mimic clip is beyond them.
There are two small keys on the right side, so yeah, just continuing to add to the fact that this is bow locked. If Kazden finds something here, though, this could be huge for him. Could keep him out of an Aga play. For example, if he finds the mitts, or the glove, the other glove here, or the hammer. For all we know, there's a bow here on Death Mountain.
It's entirely possible. Ninjembro will show us here in a little while, going to turn in the Old Man, which is its own adventure in Inverted. You have to go up and pick up your Light World access here. There is a free portal for you.
Yeah, and Super Bunny is in Logic. Just how much do you enjoy sneaking by Lionels?
That's usually not fun even when you have 10 hearts and maybe
Yeah.
mail upgrade. Substantially less so on Green Mail 5.
Wait, we have a
The
vanilla...
big key to this dungeon, a true vanilla big
Yep.
key to Palace of Darkness. Thanks, game.
As Ninjembro finds the red boomerang.
The splash deleter rang that he doesn't even need because he has the flippers.
We all need a red boomerang in our life.
Yeah, artisanally crafted. You can probably find one on any number of arts and crafts kind of sites.
And that is our flute inside of Spectacle Rock. So Ninjembro is going to pick that up. We do have to activate the flute still in Light World, but it is usable in Dark World. Now, Kaizen is going to go for a hammer yump here. Has the big key, has a small key. Perfect timing for this kind of move. Ninjembro back onto Death Mountain.
Is it perhaps time to try and sneak by some Lionels?
I feel like 2 free items, you almost have to go for it. Possibly avoid Aga. And nope. Apparently I'm completely wrong. Ninjembro says, I am doing Aga.
Alright, Fighter Sword Aga already has burned off all of that magic. Bombos would have been really nice here against the double ball and chain guard, which otherwise you're falling back on your 8 slash strats.
Did Kaizen not get a map or compass out of Pod?
I thought I saw at least a dungeon item while he was over there.
Because he did get 2 keys in the Dark U. So that would tell me that there's a chance that the Harmless Hellway had an item or a non-key, but I'm not sure which. I'm gonna guess he knew that it was the other dungeon item.
Yeah, I'm reasonably certain that he had only seen one dungeon item, and again with the Ambrosia setting, going to find that last item on the boss. So, good knowledge, quick save and quit, save a little time.
To your question, in chat, Palmancott, Kaizen had hammer yumped, so he had already used one of the keys. So he would have been, like, if he hadn't hammer yumped, he would have already had 3. Yeah, I think the one benefit for Kaizen at this point is just knowing that he has the pod key. And for all we know, there is a chance that Ninjembro might say, I want to wait for pod until I've got the big key. How long? I don't know. But it becomes less obvious of a play if you're hoping for the big key before going in.
Certainly true, and it does appear that Ninjembro found another full magic somewhere on the climb here, because the Bombos medallion has come back out.
Yeah, that medallion is getting quite the workout today.
Those red guards not really cooperating, but eventually the pots and the sword do get the job done.
And Kaizen was considering the hammer yump and just realized, wait a minute, I don't want to do that. All right, why am I calling it a hammer yump? It's a nice palace bomb jump.
It's one of those vanilla game bomb jumps, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did the Skullwoods bomb jump, so maybe we can just start calling them all the Skullwoods bomb jump next, and we'll work our way around in a little circle.
So yeah, here we go with Aga. Of course, we've got that chance from anywhere from 0 to 15 blue balls.
And that's going to be seeded. Whatever Ninjembro sees, Kaizen will see as well, as long as nobody misses any reflectable shots.
Kazan able to survive that play over. Does get an 8 bomb drop, and he was down to 1 bomb, so really nice timing.
That lonely fire bar room seeming to cause a few problems for both of our runners. Both of them had to avoid it before they could actually get down the stairs.
Yeah, unfortunately, ice physics are bad. So was that 3 blue balls then?
I believe you're correct.
Oh, and Kazan takes a death before getting the iced tea. Hopefully he decides that's not a required check at this point.
He has already pulled the glove, and yeah, that was a save and quit rather than a save and continue. So we are not going to see iced tea from Kazan right now.
And it looks like Kazan's going to go for the mountain as well, so we are not getting a Quakefish play from either of our runners.
It seems no matter the mode, it's just a check that nobody wants to go do.
And we are going to get a pretty standard start here for Inverted. We're going to get to see Hyrule Castle. And depending on if we find that small key, we might just head straight for the back and eventually go for the Sanctuary.
This is the part of the inverted experience where all of a sudden you've gained your light world access. Now you have to choose your path through the light world, which is not nearly as convenient as it is normally, because if you save and quit to your house, well, you're going back to the dark world now.
Yeah, luckily we have that portal on the Link's House side of the pyramid. So you can at least get easily back to Light World.
I do see chat hoping and praying for that hammer on Catfish now that both of our runners have opted against it. I understand. I know everybody wants the good show.
Well, and I think there's still I think Kazan will probably go for Aga, but I can see a world where he decides to play for, you know, a Quakefish after a save and quit, because he's gonna have to save and quit after getting his flute here in Spec Rock.
Ninjimbro setting up the Death Warp here on the ball and chain guard.
Luckily, not a health refill at that moment.
Those heart pieces do like to say no every once in a while. You've gone to all the trouble of reducing your heart count, and they say, oh, no, hold on. We're going to fill those up for you.
And Ninjimbro heading for Dark Cross, so we got a chance for being able to get to the back from here.
Not a guarantee like it would have been in a standard start. You don't necessarily have to find the small key in the front portion of the escape sequence, but it could be here.
Yeah, since it wasn't in that first chest in the basement, we know that its other option, of course, is here or in the back. And Ninjimbro is setting up to be able to Death Warp out of here. And it's just the map, so yeah. The small key is either in the Sanctuary or in the back.
And with a glove, you can go make those checks. You just have to find a way to wander all the way around the light world to get over to the Sanctuary.
And Kazan is going to give us Super Bunny.
Very smart play there. Decides not to take Lionel damage, instead going to damage boost with the bomb explosion.
Yeah, nicely done. And we'll get to see what our Turtle Rock medallion is. Not always needed. Doesn't matter. Kaizen is going to open up Turtle Rock here. May be thinking, let me get the full magic inside and have it available. Although Super Bunny does have a full magic anyway, so he'll probably pick up the full magic out of Super Bunny and go do that at the same time. So we'll have full magic for Aga Tower as well. On the other side, Ninjembro is going to give us Graveyard Ledge. You saw our stairs up to Graveyard. And there's our Titan's Mitts.
An item that actually does not necessarily open a whole lot in inverted, but it can be a very nice convenience item, particularly on the mountain.
Oh, wow. There's our boots out of Super Bunny. So while Kaysden was not able to, had waited a little bit on this mountain play and having done the pod play, he is getting a nice little bonus with those boots. And I think we're going to see Kaysden hover hookshot cave here. So we'll get the bonk shot check.
Going to have to expend the bombos to get that Bari out of the way, though. And Ninjembro on into Sanctuary. That 20 is the in-logic check. Some bombs there for Ninjembro. Doesn't seem to have changed much after the Mitts collection up there in the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, and here we go. Hover time for Kaysden.
Our other 5-6, I believe that was Hera. Somebody can catch me on that if I was wrong.
We got a 20. Nice on the second bonk there for the big key to Hera. And excellently done on that second hover for a Master Sword. So nice little bonus before heading into Aga.
Certainly a quality of life upgrade before making the play into Aga.
So yeah, the boots are a good find for Kaysden for sure. Definitely helps him get into this Aga play, and then the Master Sword off the hover, as well as the Hera Big. Hera Big's not huge, but it does make life a little bit easier when we go do Hera. It does mean our Pyramid Fairy is technically locked behind Hookshot.
Mirror for Ninjembro there, and the Forest Thieves drop down. We're about to start getting those village checks, that nice item dense location that you figure you're going to check in the first 10 minutes or so, give or take, of any regular light world start. But it takes you a little while to get here in inverted, and now that you're here, well, maybe all of your items are just waiting for you.
So the only thing that really doesn't help Kaysden here with these boots is it doesn't give him a lot of speed in this Aga Tower play. When he gets into Light World, this will be the moment he starts making up time. And there's the hammer. So yeah, there was no way out of the Aga portion of the seed today. And we have a book.
That's the access to Desert Palace we were talking about. The very stacked Blind's old hideout here today, and even a little more safety in the form of that heart container in the back.
So clearly we just want to go right back to Ice Palace, right?
It does kind of feel that way sometimes, doesn't it?
It's a clearable dungeon. Or at least a beatable boss. Kaysden gonna have to be a little careful here. Nice heart crop there. We do get the Cane of Burna, some bombs, and there's our blue mail. Kaysden picking up another heart, knowing where that was in the circle of pots.
Seems maybe not to have picked up on the stun prize, which I believe is Singleton Hearts.
I think it was rupees, actually, because I thought
Oh,
he
was it
killed a
rupees?
guard. Yeah, I thought he killed a stun guard and got a rupee off of it. And yeah, we had a vanilla bottle there in every sense of the word. And there's our desert big key. So, hey, that means we have early clearable desert palace in logic.
Plus or minus what may be on the torch, small key could be there, which I think would have logical implications, but, well, we know where the boots are, and Kayston has them already.
Yeah, it's just the logical piece. So for Kazdan, I feel like when he comes through Kakariko and gets that book and Desert Palace Big Key, it's easy choice for him. And of course, that good old releasing of the duck. So Ninjembro has access to flute. He would have to, of course, mirror to use it. But yeah, for Kazdan, get the desert big key, gets the book, finishes Kakariko Village, and I think easily heads, continues this south path that we're seeing from Ninjembro. And instead of going into like towards Mini Moldorm Cave, I think we see a play over to Desert Palace.
It can be one of those locations that's a little more difficult to really get at, although since we're going to have the flute and the mitts, you can kind of be in the area, but you still have to get your light world access. That's what your mitts are going to give you there.
And here we
You
go.
still have to book to go in. So let's see, what does Kayston want to do here? And Ninjembro maybe picking up Smiths here.
Yep, I like the play for Smith at this point. You got that mirror, and it's so convenient to do this, especially because Ninjembro is gonna continue south towards K45 and the dam. So turning in purple chest, it's a good combination play, as well as the ability to check hammer pegs. And yeah, these boots are really going to start showing the value at this moment for Kayston. Just so many nice straight lines to just continue to dash throughout.
Hyrule Castle has a lot of them, then going to need to get up onto the northern portion of the world. Going to be nice there too.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this so much when we talk about, standard races and the difference that a boots early, standard or casual boots versus regular old standard start. It is a ton. It's what, a minute, we sometimes say, or a little less than a minute.
Well, the natural progression in NMG would be something a little sub 6, and you'll see really good runners of Rando and Kaz boots pulling out sub 510s. So,
Yeah.
something along those lines, anyway.
Yeah, and not only the little bonus from the boots, but also that Master Sword paying out nicely.
Ninjembro seeing another one of these little changes that are made for inverted where you can just walk into K45 there.
Yeah, we do see a bee in a bottle, and Ninjembro just says, no thanks.
It's not empty, so he's not taking it.
Kazan setting up for his Death Warp. Also not getting completely screwed over by a heart drop.
Unfortunate refill would have been unfortunate. Here we go, another one of these. A lot of the inverted changes seem to live in this southwestern corner of the map. K45, the stairs up to Bombos, we'll also be able to walk up to Checkerboard Cave here in a minute.
Yeah, and the other thing we find out is that the lack of Master Sword not hurting Ninjembro on that tablet.
So he's likely to get to save a little bit of time there because Kazdan will have to sit through the Bombos animation.
And Kazdan is going to save and quit out of Dark Cross instead.
Rather than setting up the additional Death Warp, it's...
I think
it's
with him
kind of
having
50-50-ish.
boots, it's a little easier for him to make this argument. But I think Ninjembro is going to try and complete Desert Palace here. And this is another one of those little... I don't want to say it's a turning point in this race, but if there's something required on right side, that's a really huge benefit to Kazdan here. Assuming the small key is on the torch, of course.
Or if there's simply outright some kind of progression on the torch, it's still something at the very least that Ninjembro would have to come back for at some later date.
Yeah.
And in Inverted, there's no way around sitting through that cutscene opening Desert Palace via the book.
Yeah, and Kazdan is going to give us both of our boots checks. So you said earlier, the mitts are not a valuable resource in this game, or in this mode specifically. This is the one check that requires them coming up, is Kazdan gets those mitts and is able to say, hey, I can go get King's Tomb.
It's a very strange feeling for the mitts to only do one thing, but here comes that one thing. Let's see if it has some value. The answer to that is not really.
And we do get the small key in Desert. So no lost time or answers there for Ninjembro.
I do see a couple of our chatters there mentioning that we do also get East Death Mountain access without the hook shot with the mitts, which is, that's perfectly viable. And oh hi, there's a bow.
Well, and the question becomes there, do we see Ninjembro maybe go for pod sooner? I'm sure these two runners have done a little bit of research, or maybe not research directly, but know roughly what they both are capable of. And what was that from Kazdan? I've never seen that strat.
I've only started seeing that recently. If you dash over, you can bonk on the lever and grab it while the bonk is happening. It's certainly one of these stranger-looking little pieces of tech that I've seen recently.
Yeah, that was a cool little piece that I have not seen before. Nice. Bonk Rocks gives us the big key to Meyer. But yeah, as I was saying, I think both of our runners have definitely done a little bit of research on each other at this point, or at least familiar on some of their own glitch usage. So, you know, Ninjembro could say, maybe Kazdan did go to pod early. He might be feeling good about it, to be honest, given that there was mitts and hammer in Light World.
Yeah, and given that he's already found the bow here, and that Kazdan could have gone over and found himself bow locked. Now, any runner at this caliber is going to be familiar with some trick or another to get by the bow locked portion of Palace of Darkness. But they tend to be more time consuming than just using the bow.
And definitely not a common strat here on the Landmo fight from Ninjembro. We're getting Burna strats.
Burna first and then wrap it up with the hammer. Alright.
Yeah, staying away from those NMG strats, but very nicely done.
That's a second crystal on the board for Ninjembro. It feels like we have been here for a hot minute. It's nearly 43 minutes into the game, but such is life in Inverted sometimes.
Yeah, slow play to eventually reach Aga in some regards. And that was a Quake medallion from Meyer.
It was, and of course Ninjembro has already reached the full complement of the coin collection, so just knowing what to swap to, I suppose.
Yeah, and we do know where that Meyer Big Key is, of course, given Kazden's scouting. I will be curious to find out when Ninjembro finds it, and he is heading back to the mountains, so he will get his boots soon.
Kazden about to pick up the all of everything here in Blind's old hideout. This was, what, Hammered Book Ether?
Yeah.
And then a full heart container on the back, and yeah, one of these single rupees, because no 5-item location can be that dense. Ah, yes, the vanilla bottle. How wonderful.
Yeah, Ninjembro could see those boots and go, I could have had them for a little while. Might not be too happy about that. Not a huge deal at this point. I think he still has a little bit of a lead based on his routing, not doing pod. And we are going to get, of course, the good old bomb shot check. But that is all for Ninjembro. Not versed in hovering, so...
Going to be in a position, though, to do Palace of Darkness in one shot. So, again, going to gain another one of those little routing efficiencies. Assuming, of course, that he doesn't put it off indefinitely, hoping that the big key appears.
Well,
because
and I think
whoever expects the truly vanilla big key?
Hook shot on floating island, sure game.
Right where you need it to be.
And that's the thing, one of the little advantages for Kazden kind of just disappears with that location. Of course, with that mirror and all these other tools for Death Mountain, how you route the mountain is a real adventure. We have a lot of access to Turtle Rock at this point, as well as Spiral Cave and Mimic Cave, and even we have Spike Cave available.
Imagine Spike Cave being available. The bronze match that concluded right before the start of this one did not hinge entirely on that item location.
But here we go, Ninjembro into Tower of Hera. That'll be his third crystal soon, whereas Kazden is still routing around some light world checks.
And not only third crystal, but is the second half of that 5-6 combination that you need to blast open the Pyramid Fairy.
And it looks like Ninjembro going for a little bit more of a classic setup for the Hera pot.
Not a convert to Philippot, but pulls it off first try nonetheless.
Turns out we never actually needed the big key to Hera.
Well, just logically to climb, but who wants to do things the old-fashioned logical way when we can just clip into a gigantic pot and climb 4 floors in an instant?
And Kazden actually, even with having book and big key and book and big key and boots, is saying, I want to still check Mini Moldorm. And actually, I kind of get it. I hadn't thought about this, but with flute and mitts, this is actually probably more efficient in routing in some regards.
Yeah, go back to the Dark World, flute to 6, and then you can lift the rock and be in the Light World over there. It'll work. Or you can, I guess, make the dash back.
I thought we were going to see potentially a play up to Ice Rod Cave, but this just leaves that as kind of a last location for Kazdan, I feel like.
And as you were saying a few minutes ago, we are just going to see kind of this middle of Turtle Rock check. One of the, maybe we can call it advantages of inverted, is you can use the mirror and get into kind of non-standard entrances to the dungeon and start making checks. Perfectly possible to just find the Cane of Samaria in here somewhere.
Yeah, Death Mountain's a hard route. Talk to anybody who's, even the experienced runners of this mode will tell you this is not easy to make decisions on the most efficient routing strategy. And that chain chomp really was like, no, this is my chest. You can't have it.
Certainly one of the more effective guardians we've seen thus far this seed. Ninjimbro going to pick that portal back up into the light world and show us Spiral Cave. Just a little more cash money, not changing anything. So although we've only got the 3 dungeons done on Ninjimbro's side and Kazdan working his way through his second, we're really only looking for a couple of rods in Samaria at this point between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, we need 1 rod and a big key. Oh, wait, do we even... No, we just need Samaria.
Oh yeah, you're right, we do. We don't need to get into the back of Skull Woods either.
Samaria and Eastern Big for Go mode? Is this real?
Don't need to find a key for Ice Palace, that's for sure. So we're gonna need the Eastern Big and yeah, Cane of Samaria so that we can go visit Vitreous. Now that doesn't mean that something like that Eastern Big couldn't be hanging out on Trinex, and then we have to find everything anyway.
Exactly. And we have full access to a Green Pendant Swamp Palace at this point as well, so the options are starting to open in not ideal locations for our runners. So next up we are
The
getting Mimic
Rando
Cave.
portion of Rando.
Yes. I see a lot of discussion about, when does Ninjembro get into pod? Does that pod big key kind of evade him a little bit? I think the pull of Sahasrahla, Eastern, and pod is going to be a pretty great for Ninjembro. Honestly, I think the one that would concern me a little more is Meyerbig out of Bonk Rocks. That area is a little isolated now. Like, yes, that's there's that and the King's Tomb and the Lumberjack, but I don't know when we see that kind of play.
Between the two, it is by far the less dense when you can just connect all of Palace of Darkness and Eastern and Sahasrarla's Closet and say, we've got checks all the way down over here. Comparatively, going back to the northern loop of the Light World in Inverted does not feel the greatest.
Yeah, like you're pretty much saying I have to go into the CAC portal or something similar. But Ninjembro finished up on the Death Mountain side and into Light World. Gonna hit this portal here. We'll find out where he's gonna head. This could be Mini Moldorm to Zora area. And I think this could be the closest he comes to those Boots locations at this point. Or turn in the shovel.
Turn in the shovel could work.
Another heart container, but we're going to pass that one up. So yes, if anybody is joining us a little bit late, this is the Open League Finals. We've got a Game 4 here. Ninjembro looking to seal the series for Team Bottles on empty, whereas Kazin is looking to keep the season alive for Team JKLOL. Both teams, of course, have gotten their qualified. They will have their spots for next season's Invitational League based on their top 4 finish.
Ninjembro wanted to carry that shovel play on into the Pyramid Fairy check and Pyramid itself, which I believe Kazin kind of scoped out earlier.
Yeah, we did see that 20. We get $50 and Tempered Sword. Wow. That is a really nice find. And just, was that a B? That was a B.
I believe that was B. Kazin likely a little unhappy with that hook shot placement.
Yeah, I think he knew heading into this race, Ninjembro is not going to hover, and I think he felt good about that early Master Sword and Big Key to Hera, and then it goes, well, that's the worst place hookshot could have been for an advantage, quote unquote.
And it looks like Ninjembro is going to maybe actually go ahead and do Swamp here.
That's a surprising maneuver. I don't blame him, but I'm definitely a little surprised by the possible play for a pendant here.
It's a reasonably item-dense location. Again, we have that knowledge of where the pod big is. Ninjembro thinks he's missing 3 big keys yet, plus Cane of Samaria.
So Kazin is, of course, going to give us the Philly Pot variety here. Forgets to swap over to bombs, unfortunately. But this one's definitely a little less, a little more forgiving. You only need to have 1 pixel perfect setup with that first bomb. After that, it's really kind of generous on that second location.
A little easier to actually put your own sprite in place. You generally don't need to menu or pause buffer to pick your positioning up, which can save you a little time. The menu is a little slow.
Of course, that sword for Ninjembro could prove to be a little bit of an advantage, depending on if Kazin does hit Pyramid Fairy. So, but Kazin is about to tie up our crystal count here, as long as Moldorm does not continue to say no.
Getting bounced back out of the arena can result in soft locks depending on where you land, so that can be a little bit of a hold your breath moment.
Yeah, we're lucky that we have the hook shot at least to make, a possible Harapot back up a little better. But Moldorm is not presenting that tail spot too great, and there we go.
It appears that Ninjimbro, only in Swamp for items, doesn't really care about clearing the boss necessarily, is going to go ahead and make the left side play right off the hop.
Yeah, and I think this could be a swamp into eastern area. I feel like that's the kind of gamble Ninjembro is going with this time, realizing, if I can get something out of here and then turn in the green pendant at Sahasrahla, then I'll do eastern and pod right after that.
It makes a lot of sense, and who knows, maybe he's going to find an Eastern Palace Big Key here, which is one of our remaining outstanding items.
And of course, if we do not find Fire Rod, it does raise a question about GT in terms of where the potential Fire Rod is, and do we need it to beat this seed? I personally do not know how both of our runners feel about right side GT without Fire Rod.
That's a good question. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get to find out.
So far, still nothing in Swamp Palace, though. Definitely a good chance for there to be something. It's just kind of waiting to see if we get anything.
It could hold out as far as the green pendant. It would take us a hot minute to find out if that's where it is.
I think you could. It's probably a little too fast for the hover with that Medusa head. If anything, we're really looking at our runners setting up the bomb jump. And Ninjembro does not dive her down, I guess. Or at least not a bomb diver down today.
Yeah, that is interesting. But, no, going through it the old-fashioned way.
But here we go. Diver down chests. We got something. A map. And a big key too. Eastern Palace. That works out perfectly for Ninjembro here. Wow.
That is exactly the kind of thing he was looking for. That, of course, is only going to put him in even more interesting straits trying to find that Misery Mire Big Key in the Bonk Rocks, however.
Yeah, because at this point, Ninjembro is going to go Eastern Pod area. He's going to full clear those. So he'll get the pod big pretty nicely. But, yeah, I don't know when we see the Mire check or the Mire Big Key find in Bonk Rocks.
After seeing the vanilla Big Key in pod, is there a play over to Mire, thinking that maybe there's a vanilla or a French vanilla Mire key as well?
And Kazan is going to give us that coffee break in Hera. There is something here. Is it needed?
We are running a little low on things that are actually needed to beat the seed. There's Ninjembro picking up that green pendant.
And it's just a piece of heart.
time not well spent on Kaysden side, and now we may actually see the clear of ice wall Ninjimbros over here in the area. This does
So you're
seem to
getting
be a
Spike Cave.
fairly efficient route in the grand scheme of things.
And just another shield out of Spike Cave.
Ninjimbro going to give us this Ice Rod Cave check that Kaysden had opted against earlier. Let's see if this is anything.
And sets up for the water walk.
The swim to the water walk, and now we can go do the run by of Hylia Island, another one of those locations in Inverted where there's a little change made, but I don't think that with 1,600 rupees we're going to see Ninjimbro bother to lose the water walk and grab that.
Yeah, we have plenty of money in this seed.
And that is the second of the Singleton green rupees there on the old guy camping out under the bridge. One in Blind's old hideout and one behind the flippers. Why not?
So there's Tempered Sword for Kaysden. So the two things that we do know the other runner needs, Ninjimbro having that Eastern Big Key out of Diver Down Chest of Swamp Palace, whereas Kaysden has the Meyer Big Key out of Bonk Rocks. And there's Gold Sword.
So we could theoretically have had a vanilla gold sword today. It was just a matter of what order the checks happened in. Catfish kinda naturally says no. Kaysden back in Palace of Darkness really just has to clear out the boss at this point, and likely to then go into Eastern without the big key.
Yeah, that's definitely the feeling I'm getting from his play here. I think for Kaysden, Swamp Palace at least looks very appetizing of a location. Like, given what we've seen of other locations, I feel like it wouldn't be surprising for us to find, you know, that we need that Eastern Big Key for progression of any sort. Because no rods, no Samaria, so...
Of course, to some extent, you can already take the bait into Turtle Rock. Some of which Kaysden, I believe, has done, but...
Actually, did Kaysden not touch it?
Did he not touch it at all?
I don't know if I saw any Turtle Rock from him.
We talked so much about the mountain routing while Ninjimbro was up there, I just kind of felt like things happened. Ooh, there's the big key to Swamp Palace for Ninjimbro. That's a thing. Do you want to go back for a total one-off check?
And there's the first of our rods. So not going to be a terrible left side GT situation even.
The one outlier we still have on both sides is that Cane of Samaria. After that, it comes down to dueling big keys.
Yeah, we know at this point, Swamp Palace Big Chest is a last location if it is an item. Nobody's going back there. And there's our Skull Big.
More terrible one-off locations. Speaking of terrible one-off locations, hi there, Mushroom. How are you doing today?
Yeah, all the little one-offs kind of building up at this point. We know that that big chest of Skull Woods is actually nothing. We did get the 2 items out of the front of Skull. So we had, what, a medallion and a heart piece, I think?
Quake Medallion and Heart Piece sounds right. Also, blink and you'll miss it, but Kasten has taken a temporary crystal lead.
Yeah, and he's going right in for... Okay, so he's going to do flipper checks and might just do Ice Palace right after this for another crystal. It feels like at this point, Kazen's like, let me just beat my crystals anyway.
And look, catching that for all of those bottles we've chosen not to pick up on both sides.
I mean, that's the most important item in the game if you talk to some people. I've heard it called Go Mode.
I have heard it called Go Mode. As opposed to the single arrow, which I've heard called basically Go Mode. Given that it is, after all, a unique item, there is only one of it in the game.
And here we go, Ninjembro into the Armos fight.
Setting up for a pretty standard-looking quick kill here, and seems to have everything right on track.
Nicely done for a piece of heart, and his 4th crystal. So tied up again in the crystal count.
Going to do a little mirror bonking here. I was kind of wondering why Ninjembro didn't just want to mirror on the stairs, but alright.
Well, he's got to go get Kiki.
Ah, yeah. Well, you could still mirror there. You would just have to, say, hold a bomb over your head or something.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one hard part for a lot of people when it comes to inverted, is realizing where the actual mirror locations are to not bonk. I think we've all bonked extra amounts in this mode.
It's probably the most unnatural feeling part of inverted is the mirroring direction. Ninjembro sees that bow lock and says, well, I'm not concerned, I found a bow already. The dueling tin arrow finds between that first chest of Palace of Darkness and the catfish is mildly amusing in time, if not necessarily in space.
And yes, Pod Big was vanilla, so Ninjembro will get that soon and find that he is able to beat this dungeon completely. For him, this is obviously just the most lucrative play, outside, you know, staying out of pendant dungeons.
I was mildly surprised when he started doing the flipper checks that he didn't continue that on into the now completable Ice Palace. before coming over here, simply because of that big key shuffle. But, you know, density has its own draw.
Yeah, maybe thinking he can wait for Samaria at this point.
It does have to be out there somewhere.
And Kaysen's going to give us, it looks like we're going to get to see Powder and possibly Mushroom. Oh, Smith Chain. Kaysen actually completely skipped this earlier.
I guess if you want to land down by Swamp Palace, having the purple chest in tow does make a good amount of sense.
And Jembro also going to give us the hammering up.
Having a little trouble landing on the correct pixel here. It's just a double pixel perfect trick. Nothing too hard, right?
Here we go with the magic bat now on Kaysen's side. Wow, Cane of Samaria on the magic bat. Now this becomes a harder question for Kaysen. Luckily, I don't know what he's going to do at this point, but Swamp Palace becomes a much harder play, I feel like.
I do think it is a lot more difficult to get over to Swamp Palace now that you're just that one big key away from the things you need to do. But again, he does have that purple chest in tow and is going to be right next to it, so he's going to be in the best position of his game right here coming up after this purple chest turn-in.
Well,
Make that check.
I want to believe that, and I am obviously not completely unbiased in who I'm rooting for today, but if I'm in Kaysen's shoes right now, or I think I know Kaysen as well as I'd like to believe, he's turning in purple chest and going into Mire.
You appear to be at least more right than him going swamp. Yep, there's the flute to 6. And there's that muscle memory. I've fluted to 6. Now I need to lift this rock and go in the portal, right? Nope, nope, it's inverted. You don't have to do that thing.
Kaysen remembering to kill the Murder-Dactyl, because Quake does not affect flying enemies.
And the bird will very happily just keep munching away at you during the Mire entry cutscene.
Now, of course, when Kaysen goes to Swamp, I think he skips left side first trip and goes for the diver down immediately. So that could save some time and maybe a little bit of extra headache in Swamp. But yeah, it's still a lot of, it's still a big question. When does he go there? And does he gamble Eastern having it? Like, that's the bigger problem for him, is he could just spend a lot of time doing extra checks. And for Ninjembro, we talked about that Mire Big Key at Bonkrox. There's a growing list of things he can check along that North and Kakariko stuff between Bat, Bonkrox, King's Tomb, and the Potion Shop. And I think he didn't check Lumberjack even.
And it looks like he's getting into that area right about now.
Yep, so this is kind of a bad ticking clock now for Kaysen, unfortunately.
I will admit to a little surprise on both of the runners having decided to put the rest of the play into ice off this long.
I don't know if we have any items left in ice.
Well, there's definitely one on the boss.
Yeah. But without that
And it's
big
a crystal.
E, it looks a little less appealing, I feel like.
Yeah, it could be that. We
But
may just have to ask them.
Yep. But there's that Cane of Samaria for Ninjembro. He is not switching over to a flute or a mirror, so he's definitely going to stay in Light World. I gotta believe this is Bonk Rocks, and that'll be Go mode.
Makes the northern turn and is not even going to make it as far as the Lumberjacks. Going to hit the very first check here. This is going to be the Meyer Big Key for Ninjembro, and that's going to put him in go mode at 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 20 seconds.
Yep, just 2 quick dungeons at this point. Meyer doesn't even have to full clear it. And Ice Palace, we're going to Ice Break. Just has to remember to hit the switch when he does it.
There was another one of those little exciting mirror bonks that you get in Inverted every once in a while. Finds one of those skull rocks on that arrow path in the Dark World. Kaysden not only with the swag rail clip, but then the time-saving grab of the not going down the stairs.
Yep, so we're going to have, I don't want to say simultaneous boss fights, but both runners coming up on another boss. Unfortunately, Kaizen is down a crystal already right now.
Down a crystal and not in go mode is not where you want to be an hour and 20 minutes into any seed. Ninjembro opting for the switch hit here just to make life a little easier. You never know, Big Key could just be on the way. We've already seen a vanilla one, but not to be today.
Yeah, and he's not even going to check for it at this point. On the H room.
Since I do see a little chatter about it over there in my text box for the stream, yes, both of these teams have in fact already secured their advancement to the Invitational League next season. This is just for the last remaining question. Who do we declare the Open League champion for this season?
And as Kaizen takes down Vitreous as Ninjembro drops in on Cold Stare.
As expected, those nice simultaneous boss fights. Kaysden picking up crystal number 5, but and then Ninjembro picking up the ice rod before crystal number 6. Sure game.
Yep, nice.
That could have been a little dangerous if you'd chosen to do ice before getting into go mode. I could see where maybe you start thinking Turtle Rock ever so slightly. Of course, we would still need to find a big key for it somewhere.
Kaizen might be hitting Swamp Palace now. Still in a rough position, but this could save him a little bit. And at least give him a shot. I say that, and it looks like we're getting a Mushroom turn in first.
And on Ninjembro's side, everyone can see what happens when you do not slay the bird before activating Quake. Say goodbye to 2 hearts.
Yeah, luckily the iframes, after you get hit that first time, means you can't take extra damage, but you still will get hit at least once.
It's just a bit of an unfortunate spot to be in when you're going into Mire 2, although Ninjimbro has cleaned it up very nicely anyway. Sword, it's one of those rooms, one of the very few rooms maybe, that Sword Beams just makes a little nicer.
And yeah, Kaizen not going towards Swamp Palace. Oh, well, sorry. Shovel first, okay.
Rather not go through all of the rigmarole of Swamp Palace if you don't have to. Of course, in this seed, you have to.
Of course, with that Ice Palace big key, it looks like Kaizen might be making that return trip to Ice. Meanwhile, Ninjembro is into the back of Mire, so he'll be getting crystal number 7 pretty soon.
It's a pretty free and easy position when you've got 13 Hearts Blue Mail and the Butter Sword. You can turn on the Blue Cane if you really want to, but you don't really have to.
Yeah, we saw the Blue Cane dash strats from Kaizen for this Vidi fight. Although it looks like we got an eye poke there.
We certainly did get an eye poke there, and 1 heart remaining, but now the bow comes out. That is all 7 crystals collected for Ninjimbro, so I guess it is about that time where you have to go rummage around in Ganon's basement for a big key. All the other big keys are shuffled in this mode, but the shuffle for the Ganon's Tower big key is still within the basement of Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, so we do have those guesses from 1 to 22. It does look like... Okay, Ninjembro is heading to the Ice Palace portal, so a little bit of knowledge here of saying I get in the Light World. Oh,
He's down to 2 arrows and wants to refill a little bit.
That nice play there. Save and quit from here, yes.
With Aga down and the other appropriate things, you can also see a quick flute to 6, but the flute to 8 when you want to pick up the stick bonus makes a lot of sense.
Meanwhile, Kaizen heading into this Cold Stare fight. Gonna get that Ice Rod. At this point, you know, if Kaizen does head towards Eastern and finds that Fire Rod, I feel like we're gonna see a long, extended play of TR from his side.
In fairness, there's only so much that he's going to be able to do unless he also happens to stumble upon the big key somewhere.
Well, unfortunately, TR is one of those dungeons that you can just do so much by just reclimbing the mountain a bunch.
Yeah, he can certainly go into the front and do those Fire Rod locked checks, but he's definitely not going to be killing Trinax. Ninjimbro pulling half magic from the Stalco's room also seems to be fairly topped up on small keys at this point. I think there's probably 1 more small key in a chest here somewhere.
Do see a question in chat, you know, what's caused Kaizen to kind of fall behind here? I think the early pod dip from Kaizen not paying out at all makes a big difference. And of course, Ninjembro making a gamble on Green Pendant Swamp that just paid huge. Like, and neither are bad plays from the runners. Like, You can look at Ninjembro's play to Swamp and say he was looking for that in the eastern area, and for Kazed, you know, thinking, hey, maybe I can find something out of Pod, and it just had nothing. So I think those are the two factors that kind of say, why are we here now?
I would agree. Those, by and large, are the plays that have led us to this point, and there's our big key, the bottom left-hand chest in what we like to call Rando Room.
What was that, number 11? Or 10?
I was coming up with 10, but I may have missed a chest somewhere.
No, I think you're right. It is 10. We do count the torch. You see it, you might not always pick it up, but seeing it does count as a check in terms of the rules of the GT guessing game. So Ninjembro into the GT climb at this point.
Going to stop off for refill room, which makes a whole lot of sense when you're on 2 hearts.
Yeah, that half magic find really also paying off here.
Seems to be going on max blast at this point, just wreck everything as efficiently as possible. I believe one of the bottles that our runners actually do have in inventory had a blue potion, so no real concern with spending a little extra magic here and there. How to eat fried worms in 6 easy fire rod shots. Kazed over to the Vanilla Big Key location in Eastern Palace, hoping against hope for that Vanilla Big Key, but it is just the map.
Yeah, and for Kazin at this point, as we said, I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a play to TR. Or even Skull for the Moth.
That's a flute to 1. It does look like the draw of TR has summoned Kazin. Ninjembro with a little mix of lamp and fire rod strats there to make sure that the magic held out and torches too.
And Ninjembro's not even looking for silvers at this point. You know, even with the benefit you could have from it, he doesn't care.
It's one of those nice-to-have kinds of things, not really a requirement kind of thing, and you lose a 1.5 seconds or so for each chest you actually open. At this late date, when it's only going to save you time on Ganon, and it's fairly likely not there, almost pulls off a very nice-looking triple there, still gets the double out of it.
There's a single for that phase. Yeah, these patterns not amazing. Ninjembro doing what he can with it, but still not a lot of options. But gets through it. Nicely done.
Kazden, thinking about heading for Trinex, remembers the lack of Big Key and is on to the Samaria platform maze instead, but Ninjimbro has summoned the duck for one final time and is about to drop in on Hyrule Castle.
Oh my gosh.
Makes you wonder what happens if you ever look up at the ceiling in Hyrule Castle in this mode.
Here we go. Gold sword, half magic. This is quite not too bad of a Ganon fight here. Nice easy 1-on-1 there. I say
nice
that.
easy 1 heart there. Blue potions coming out.
See, there was a whole reason we had to get that potion this round.
Your safeties are in fact there to be used, and I do recommend using them.
Kazan, meanwhile, working backwards through Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, we know that what he's looking for is not going to be here, and unlikely he's going to find it in this one. And the silvers were in GT.
Yeah, it's as good a place for them as any. All Ninjimbro has left is, I think, 7 more spins to win.
Yeah, just plugging away very nicely here, getting the triples as well. Very nice triple there in the top right, or set up for the triple in the top right there.
There we have it. 12 spins into the pig. The pig explodes. Ninjimbro just has to stand here for a handful more seconds while that fanfare plays out. Sword raised high in the air in the victory pose.
And there we go. Finishing in first place, we have Ninjimbro with a time of 1:5:41, stealing this series for bottles on empty, thus making them your Open League champions. And not soon after, Kazan is going to throw in the towel on this one, understandably so. Nobody wants to search for a big key at this moment. So great run by both of our runners and our teams throughout this series. 3-1 goes the finals to Team Bottles on empty. The joke, of course, being that all season, Kazan has denied Team JKLOL Game 5. And somehow finding the way again.
That is the way it seems to have worked out for Team JKLOL this season. But here we are. We are joined in the booth by the representative of Bottles on Empty, Ninjimbro, who has sealed this thing and become Open League champion for Season 4. Congratulations, GG.
Oh, thanks. GG's.
And we are joined by Kayston as well. Good game to you.
Jeez.
Hey, GG, Kayston. Holy crap, that seed.
Yeah.
Was it Leoria that joked in the pregame chat about this being a jet seed?
Oh no, she rules seeds like this constantly. This is
okay.
This is pretty average. I've seen far worse. But yeah, no, that was a seed for sure.
Oh man.
So I'm sure you guys have already discussed some of the differences in routing throughout this one.
Yeah, I am curious, Ninjimbro, if you went into Ice or Pod at the very start. Because you kind of had a 50-50 there.
I went Ice because it really felt like the seed was pushing me there really hard.
Yeah.
And especially when I got that small key in the first chest, I felt like very, very good about the play because I was like, well, that opens another check like logically here.
Right. Yeah.
It was.
I was so torn because it's like we had the flippers can get you to both, and then you got bombos for ice, and you got a lamp for the back of pod. So
Yeah, like the main reason I think I went ice over pod there is because like if pod was bow locked, you're just like immediately locked out versus
Right.
like ice could have whatever, and it's like part of that whatever could very easily be the bow with the way that seed was pushing you.
right,
So like the entire time like I was on my way over to like start swimming, like I was still like going back and forth in my head about which play I wanted to make, and as soon as I like landed on the area that like you can walk down to ice, I was like, we're doing it. We're just going into ice with like
on the ice, yeah.
with like 2 hearts, like green mail, like
Yeah, I had kind of the same thought in pod when I pulled 10 arrows out of shooter room. I was like, well, I could leave and go to ice because I know logical progression has to be there, or I could just commit to this and hope to find something big in the back. So I just went ahead and cleared it, and the whole thing was empty. So that was fun.
yeah, the I'm curious, did you also do 3 Heart Thieves Town, or did you wait to go back?
No, I did it
Okay.
immediately. Yeah.
That was like super scary. I was not looking for it.
That was just just hopefully stay on script, which I did, and it was fine. The dungeon itself, other than the hellway, wasn't too bad. That's usually the scariest spot, especially that early. You don't have boots or anything to try and get a god pixel or whatever. It's just got to
Right.
take it slow and be careful and get through it. But yeah, no, I did the same thing there.
I did mess up the 3rd phase of blind, which got really scary because I was like, if I die here, I was like, there's a non-zero chance that like this is the like our progression.
That's the item. Yeah, well, especially with that early small key, is like it was a pretty
Right.
high chance. Honestly, I was feeling pretty good about it. Then the item layout's like perfect. You just had the map in the big chest. I was like, okay, so this isn't hammer locked. It wants us to do this, and
You're rewarded with like a heart container or something like that.
yeah,
I think it was actually Sank Heart.
It might have been. I don't remember, but I was like,
I
yeah,
believe it was, yes.
yeah. It sets you up to do that, and then it's like, okay, and then there's nothing here. What the heck, game?
Yeah, that entire opening to the seed was just very weird, and like going up to I found it really funny when the boots ended up being in Super Bunny Cave. I mean, funny with like huge quotes and asterisks
Yeah.
around it, because I'm like, I could walk over there and potentially die to these stupid Lionels, or I can just go into Aga and unlock like 800,000 item locations.
Right? Well, yeah, that's always a tough guess. I did go over there. I got the boots, which let me get Hookshot Cave, so I had a Master Sword nice and early, but unfortunately that, and then I think the Hera Big Key was in there as well, and I kind of chased those hoping that might pay out for something, but yeah, they were all duds.
Also, like huge shout outs to Vanilla Pod Big Key.
That was pretty funny. That actually felt really bad too, because like if you do put this off and you come here looking for the big key, the game just rewards you with a god pod, basically.
Yeah.
You never even have to touch the back.
Like that was that, as we were talking in like the post game chat while waiting for the delay to catch up, like that Eastern Big Key apparently was just the worst possible location for you. When I found that, I was like, I literally had no clue what to think when I found it.
Yeah.
I thought like
I imagine it's like, oh cool, and big key, I needed that, whatever, just keep moving on. And
I thought if anything, it was more like I thought there was a chance possibly that like kind of early on you may have just dipped that with the south loop because it was a pendant, and like I feel like there are some people that would just dip.
It's tempting sometimes, but
yeah,
I'd have to watch it back. I think when I was down there, I don't think I had the hammer yet.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, I had it
I
at
had
that
dipped
point.
it's literally one check. And like I don't hate checking it in that situation, but like I
Yeah.
don't usually go out of my way for it either.
Yeah, like I had it there, so I was like strongly considering it, and I was like, well, because at that time I was able to clear desert, like possibly not full clear, but I was able to clear desert and do checks over there. So I was like, well, I can just route this in like really efficiently, just like head over that way, like do all the desert stuff, and then just kind of do another light world loop starting at the swamp area and heading east. And I think somewhere along the way there, it might have even been after desert. I was like, well, actually, why go do that when I now have like all of Death Mountain available? And routing East Death Mountain in inverted is something that I will like never learn the proper and like fastest way to like do all the checks.
I don't know that there is a proper way. It's so bad.
Like you basically go up through Paradox Cave like 3 times if you don't want to
Yeah.
ever come up there
If you
again, which is
want to
exactly what
full
I did.
clear it, you end up doing you kind of have to.
Yeah, and with
Just like
Turtle
hop
Rock
down
being
for Spiral Cave, hop down
Yeah.
for Mimic Cave, hop
Yep.
down for Laser Bridge.
Yep. And that's basically exactly what I did. I was just like, well, Turtle Rock's a pendant here, so I should probably be thorough with this because if I do, like, I never have to come up Death Mountain again unless there's something up here.
Right.
Knowing that I was kind of orphaning Spike Cave in the process, but like getting to Spike Cave is not that slow if you
Not as
really
bad,
want to
yeah.
if you really want to come back to it later. So I was just basically committing to that being like a near last location, and it's just like that's one of those things that you put off, and it's just like if that's the answer and my opponent made the play, like that's rando,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on in that scene.
Now, I don't mean to interrupt you two if you do have more to say, but we're also joined in the booth here by Amerith for the presentation of the proverbial trophy, I believe.
Yes, the verbal trophy of congratulations, you have won the wonderful prize of bragging rights as the champions of the Open League of Season 4. How do you guys feel? Are you going to Disneyland?
So I don't think we're going to Disneyland, but we feel pretty good. Maniacal and Barnage and I might do like a Discord like video call later and have like virtual celebratory beers because we all like good beer.
That's good. I was gonna say, are you guys planning on anything fun, like personal like restreams or something like that to celebrate, like with your viewers, anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know, like I have a very busy week ahead of me, so like surprisingly, it's like I probably won't even stream for like the next week. So if we're going to plan something like that, like it's a ways down the road.
I certainly understand that. It's like, yay, we won. Let's take a break now.
It's also just like at this point, it's like there was the Cross Keys tournament, and then there was SGL, and then there was this, and it's just like I'm ready to like not have to schedule matches for like a couple months.
you mean the tournament season that never ended?
Right. So I think like other than like ladder, like I'm just going to disappear until the main tournament.
I think a lot of people are ready to sort of hit that chill mode with League winding down. This is pretty much the end of Open League. We still have a couple more things here and there that I'll mention at the end here, but things are wrapping up for the season. Everyone's getting their getting finished up, getting last games in. JKLOL also, all 3 of you being here. I want to congratulate you guys too as well. Coming in second in the Open League. Second is no joke amongst 64 teams that have entered. Like, it has been a wild ride for all of you.
Hooray for being done.
I echo that.
Honestly,
it has been a very long season.
Yeah,
Yo,
not to take,
same. Unmuting for that.
not
Yes,
to take
later
any-
you may join us.
Hi.
Yeah, we didn't want to take away the possibility of Game 5, but like we had talked about having an exhibition Game 5 with Maniacal and Barnage, and Leo and I last night were like, if Kaysden doesn't win today, do we just want to say we're done anyway and just not do this? Like, it's a whole thing, and
It's one of those things where it's like, it would be fun to do, but on the other hand, it's like freedom finally.
yes,
We're tired.
And it's also not like, co-op Retrance is a short mode or anything. Like, it's not as long as doing it solo, but like you're still looking at, around 2 hours.
yeah, we're like, I think we were talking to you about this. We're looking at possibly the multi-tourney for casual running.
Mm.
But as you said, like waiting till main tourney is kind of the next step for all of us.
Gotta get on that NMG grind.
Or that.
I have not touched NMG since like around like April 2018. Open League champions over here, and it's like my PB is like a 137, and I know like I could probably grind NMG for like 2 months and get a sub 130, and I just don't want to.
You're not that far
Open League
away.
champion, Open League champ doesn't need bomb diver down. Let's go.
Open League champs are like, Maniacal said like a month ago that, after the season is over, he's going to have a really long talk with me about just strats and rooms that I just need to learn. So I'm guessing he might have a list, and I know a couple things on that list are like Bomb Diver Down, Billy Pot, and Meyer 2.
Oh, I've got to learn Meyer
Beautiful.
too, so you're not alone.
Meyer 2 is so satisfying to do well, though. You'll love it just as soon as you get it.
I think I've done it once, like without even practicing it. I was just like, let me see if I can get this, and I did, and then I tried it again like my very next run and botched it and like 4-cycled the room, and I was like, okay, back to my regular strats that consistently get me a 2-cycle.
Yeah, when in Meyer in this seed and it's like getting ready to do it, I was like, oh wait, I don't have a fire rod. I can't do any of the fun Meyer stuff. It was disappointing.
Yeah, being able to just like, I was mentioning again in like the race time room while waiting for the stream delay, like finding the red cane and then the Meyer big was like so pog, but also when I got that Meyer big, I was just like, okay, that's go mode. And I like rushed to ice and started going to Meyer, and I'm just like, the entire time I'm like, this was really fast to get into go mode, like looking over my tracker and just thinking of everything, and I'm like, I hope I'm not like messing this up, because I am
You
just
start
like
thinking you're
skipping.
forgetting something. It's like,
Exactly.
what am I not thinking of? What could be missing still?
But yeah, again, congratulations all you guys. Congratulations, Bottles on Empty, our Open League champions. JKLOL, the runner-up of Open League. Also want to give a congratulations to the other 2 teams that will be promoted to the Invitational League next year. That is the other prize that you all get to have, is going into the big league. The other 2 teams being Oops All Foxes and Last Locationeers, who are actually running a bronze series, an official, unofficial, or unofficially official bronze series over on the ALTTPR League channels. They have at least one more game. They're going to Game 4. That is yet to hit the schedule yet, but maybe even potentially a Game 5 as a bronze match bonus. So stay tuned and keep an eye on the schedules for that.
Yeah, and we actually do have 2 matches already scheduled as part of our invitational finals coming up this week. Tomorrow we do have the casual boots matchup, Futon for Pug Trio and Sailor Nep for the Titans Mitts. And then on Friday this week we do have the Cross Keys matchup between Solski and Relkin. The Power Pendant is not yet on the schedule. Those 2 games, by the way, 8:10 p.m. for Monday and 7:40 p.m. Eastern for Friday.
Forever the commentator.
I am the commentator this time.
I mean, that's true, but
Jesse is a wonderful commentator, and we appreciate him. We appreciate everyone that does all the volunteering for League and for all of the ALTTPR events that we hold throughout the year. Like, you guys are the real champions. Like, even though, like, we also say, hey, it's always on the runners. It's also on the crew. Like, we wouldn't have a great restream without the trackers, without the commentators. So, from the admin team, thank you guys so much for being there, volunteering, putting on, good commentary, for us. Like, we really appreciate all that you volunteer for.
Yeah, huge shout out to my co-com today, Maya and DM. Always a pleasure.
Yep, always a fun time. And I guess unlike JKLOL, this didn't feel like a season that lasted forever for me. No, that was back in Challenge Cup. Sometimes it feels to me like Challenge Cup never ended. So I really get where you're coming from, where your league season went all the way.
I mean, talk to a Marathon Eye about Plando Tourney.
oh baby.
Some say it never ended.
Officially on Challenge, I don't think it did.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
But I guess we have really kind of arrived at the end here, haven't we? Congratulations, Ninjimbro and Bottles on Empty, Open League Season 4 champions. JKOLL, Season 4 runners-up. Very nicely done all the way around.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'm looking excited to next season, being part of Invitational. Kind of want to just mirror what y'all said, shout outs to everybody that's done comms and tracking during this league season, all the restreamers and admins that put everything together and kind of make it all happen behind the scenes. Shout out to all the players, because obviously without the players it's not possible. And shout outs to Maniacal and Barnage for being awesome teammates. I also actually want to shout out my teammates from last year, Thornetto and Stachio Cat, because honestly, if they had not just randomly reached out to me after the SMZ3 tournament that I was in with them a while back and been like, hey, we're making a league team, do you want to join with us? I probably never would have joined League. So I don't believe they were on a team this year. They kind of took a break, but shout outs to them for kind of dragging me into this and subsequently getting me to drag Maniacal back from SMZ3 and drag Barnage out from a 3-year retirement.
And now the lot of you can go join all the rest of the monsters in the Invitational League where you belong.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah. Just don't get relegated, forehead.
I mean, that's
Agreed.
that's the plan.
That's the goal.
Well, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we've reached the end of this thing. Everybody out there in chat, thank you so much for coming out and spending an hour and a half or so of your time on this Sunday afternoon with us. I really do hope everybody was entertained. This is the end of Open League, but as my co-com there, Jesse, was saying just a few minutes ago, we do still have that Invitational League action coming up this week. We do still have to crown another league champion. So come on back in the future for that. But until then, have a great rest of your afternoon, everybody.